greatest obstacle in building relationships between Christians and Jews is what is also the greatest possibility, and that is the Bible. At least 75% of our Bible we have in common with the Jewish people, but we read it so differently.
The central symbol for Jews is the Torah. That is the Torah, which is physically, it's the scroll which contains the 5 books of Moses, is the object which plays what you might call center stage. The Torah is read from, and it's a combination of the content of the Torah and the symbol of what the Torah represents, which is the central symbol of Judaism. After all, the Torah was the object of revelation, according to the tradition. God gave the Torah through Moses to the Jewish people and through the Jewish people to the world. And the services, the principal services of Jewish observance, always kind of reenact that drama. The Torah is removed from the ark in an act of pomp and circumstance. There's a processional around the synagogue where the Torah is not so much worshipped, but it's respected, it's venerated.
In an overarching sense, Torah is God's wisdom and God's will, conveyed to the people as teaching. And this was the attitude of the first Christians, that the Torah was something valuable, something to be studied, something to be applied, something to draw upon.
The essential narrative of the New Testament reflects teachings which are deeply rooted and reflected within Jewish teaching of the time and the background from which Jesus came.
The Holy Gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ according to Matthew.
As David Flusser, the great scholar, Israeli scholar who has written about Jesus, indicates, this narrative that we find within those texts is a totally Jewish narrative.
When Jesus grows up in the story of Matthew, following the escape from Egypt, where does he go? He goes on top of a mountain and he delivers a law. In Matthew, that's called the Sermon on the Mount. But what would Jewish ears hear? Here are the children of Israel escaping Egypt, and where did they land? Mount Sinai. And in case we missed those connections, Matthew makes it even stronger. Jesus, when he grows up, is baptized. He goes under the waters of the River Jordan, and following that, he goes into the wilderness and experiences temptation. What have we from that? From the Jewish tradition, the Israelites leaving Egypt pass through the waters of the Red Sea, and they go into the wilderness and they experience temptation. For Matthew, Jesus is a new Moses and he's a new Israel. He repeats the history of Israel, and any Christian, any Jew in Matthew's community would hear those resonances, and the Jew would think, these are our stories, told in a new key, but they're our stories nevertheless.
For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise be to you, Lord Christ.
The history of Judaism, the teachings of the prophets of Moses and the story of Abraham, all of that are an essential part of the Christian religion. Without it, it wouldn't be the Christian religion. However, the complementary is not true. Jews do not include the New Testament in their Bible. Jews do not really need the history of Christianity to understand their own history. They had thousands of years of history long before Christianity began.